Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 7 English lesson on prefixes. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of prefixes. All right. And this is a continuation of our previous lesson that we also did prefixes, right? So now we're basically just going to continue. So we, in our previous chapter, which was last week, we also did prefixes, but we focused on words with pre and words with re. So today we will be finishing off the other lessons. All right, so our chapter is prefixes. Our subject is English Language Arts. We're doing grade 7. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of prefixes is words with sub, words with miss, and words with un, dis, in, im, and non. That's going to be our lessons for today under our chapter of prefixes. All right. So we said our lessons are words with sub, words with miss, words with an, dis, in, im, and non. And when it comes to prefixes, right? Remember we said that a prefix, or just to go over it again, a prefix is a word that can be added to the beginning of a base word, and that is basically to create a new word. And also, when it comes to prefixes, if we were to identify what a base word is, a base word is a word that can stand on its own, right? You can literally make sentences with that word. It's a word that can stand on its own. But now, when we have a prefix, right, then a prefix is, we can either say it's a word or we can say it's letters that is added at the beginning of that base word. So it's like latched onto that base word, but just in front of that base word or at the beginning of that base word. And then we basically create a new word. And the reason why we say that a new word is being created, so a new word is created because the prefix has its own meaning. So the prefix has its own meaning as well as the base word has its own meaning. And knowing the meaning of a prefix, remember we said that the prefix has its own meaning, the base word has its own meaning, right? So if we have our base word, we already know, okay, this is the meaning of the base word, right? But now we're latching on a prefix at the beginning or to the beginning of that base word. And we see that's to create a new word. And how do we know that a new word is being created? It's because we need to know the meaning of the prefix. And when you know the meaning of the prefix, it will be able to help you determine the meaning of the whole word, which is the prefix as well as the word that you just added on to the base word. And now we're going to find out what is words with sub, mis, and dis, imenon. So the prefix sub. So the prefix sub, it means under. Think of subway, submarine, right? It means under, or you can even say it means below or less than. Subtract, less than. Subway, we go underneath. Submarine, underwater. So the prefixes of sub, it means either under, it means below, or it means less than, right? That is the prefixes of sub. And if we look at the meanings, not if the meanings, if we look at the few words, right, with the word, with the prefix sub, and then we just made an example now where we said that, so sub, we said submarine, right? We said subtract, it's to minus or it's less than something. Sorry, subtract. I want to say subtract. So subtract is to minus something or something that is less than. Subway. I'll take the subway. It's basically like under a bridge or under something. You are the sub pilot. You're not the main pilot, but you are the sub pilot, maybe. Submerge. This is all words with sub. So basically, these words were merge, way, marine, tract, pilot. It's words, it's base words. It can stand on its own. It has its own meaning. But once we add the word sub to those words, we create a new meaning. Even substitute. Let's say, for example, your teacher either falls ill for a long period of time, or your teacher goes on maternity leave because she's about to have a baby, right? So now we'll have the substitute teacher come in class. She's not the main teacher, but she's standing in for your teacher. We have the title of something, and then we have the subtitle, which you'll find under the title. Right? And that is a few words of sub. Now we have the prefix miss. And the prefix miss, right? Remember we said that knowing the meaning of the prefix can help you to determine the meaning of this new word. So the prefix miss, it means either incorrectly, meaning it's wrong, or badly. Incorrectly or badly. And if we look at a few words, right, or examples of the word miss, So, miss, if you don't listen, you misbehave. If we just have to say you behave, then it's like a good way, right? But if you misbehave, you are behaving badly. Misconduct, also bad conduct. Oh, sorry, I misjudged you, or I misjudged the situation, right? To misplace something, it's like you are subtly losing something. You're not losing something, but you just don't know where you put it. When you mistreat somebody, you're treating somebody badly. And if you mishear, then it's like, oh, my bad, I did not hear you properly. That is but a few examples of the word miss, of the prefix miss. And we see that prefix miss means either incorrectly or it means badly. It has a negative, basically, meaning to that word. And then we have prefixes, which is un, dis, in, im, and non. And if you look at those words, right, these words usually mean not, or it is the opposite of. So it either means not or it means the opposite of. And if we look at a few examples of these words, then we can say it is impossible. So instead of saying it is possible, I can do this. Like you are saying the opposite of possible. It is impossible. Like, I don't think we can do this. It's either I'm agreeing with you or I am disagreeing with you. Agree is like saying, yeah, sharp, we can do this. But disagree means like, look here, we can't do this. Like, I'm not agreeing with you. Like, I don't think that answer is correct. Or we shouldn't do this. That is disagree. Then we have the word untidy. The word tidy is when you're constantly clean, you're keeping your space clean, right? But the opposite of that word is untidy, meaning that it is not tidy, it is not clean. Like everything is like all over the show. Then we also have discomfort, meaning that I'm feeling some pain. Sometimes it can be pain, it can be the fact that you're not comfortable. You're just feeling some form of discomfort. And maybe the last one is immature. And immature means that you are not mature at all. For somebody, it's like you're telling somebody, for somebody who's in grade 7, who's the seniors of the school, you are not mature. And sometimes maturity is not even in the way you act, as in act your age type of thing. No, that is not even maturity, because I'm a firm believer in you need to enjoy your life, enjoy your youth, enjoy being a child, enjoy being a teenager, enjoy, you know. But immaturity is mainly to do with your behavior, you know, not the games that you play. No, that is not even anything to do with maturity. Maturity is like your behavior, as into how you behave? Do you behave in a corny way? Do you behave in a way that is demeaning to others? Do you behave in a manner that you think you're a clown? You know, you are doing nasty things to others. Those are actually somebody that is very much immature, you know? And that is when they say you are not acting your age, because when you're matured, you will know how to treat somebody, you will know how to, which type of games to even play, to do things that might not hurt somebody. That is maturity. So immaturity is the opposite of being matured. You are not matured, right? And if we were to look at all of those words, right, those are examples of prefixes, either prefixes with sub, prefixes with miss, prefixes with an, dis, in, im, and non. And the meaning of our prefix sub, right? It either means under, it means below, or it means less than. The meaning of miss is incorrectly or it means badly. And the meaning of the prefixes, which is an, dis, in, im, and non, it either means not or it means the opposite of something. It is not that thing, right? And if we look at those words, you'll be able to see, oh, okay, now I get the meaning of those words, because now you can create a meaning based on the fact that you know firstly the meaning of the prefix, right? And once again, a prefix can be added at the beginning. I even underlined all the prefixes because the prefixes can be added to the beginning of the base word. And that is basically to create a new word. And knowing the meaning of a prefix can help us to determine the meaning of the new word that is being created. All right, so now we are going to aplusstudents.ca, and we're going to go over the lessons of words with sub, words with miss, words with an, dis, in, im, and non. And we already made a few examples of these words, so which means that we are only going to look at all of the lists. We're going to all three of the tests now. Because we already looked at examples, we already explained, we already found the meaning of those words. So now we're going to our test. And we're going to look at words with sub, right? So where might you find a subway? Where might you find a subway? Is it on the street or is it underground? Where might you find a subway? On the street or underground? So option one or option two? And if we look at the answer, right, of subway, Subway you'll find underground, right? Because it's subway, it's under. It's under the street basically. Which of these is a subtask of brushing your teeth? A subtask of brushing your teeth. Is it option one, squeezing out the toothpaste, or option two, getting ready for bed? So, subtask of brushing your teeth. And if we were to choose the correct option, a subtask of brushing your teeth, right? We can say squeezing out the toothpaste because you first squeeze out the toothpaste, then you brush your teeth. All right, the next one says, which is a sub project of building a house? A sub project of building a house. Is it option one, building a row of houses? Or is it option two, building the foundation, the sub project of building a house? Option one or option two? And if we were to choose the correct option, then building a foundation is the sub project of building a house. Remember, we first need our foundation before we can build our house. The next one says, which is a subsurface activity? A subsurface activity. Is it option one, harvesting wheat, or drilling for oil? Subsurface activity. Harvesting wheat or drilling for oil. And a subsurface activity would be drilling for oil, because harvesting wheat, it's like you are already getting your stuff. All right, the next one says, this is the last one, and then we're going on to the next activity, which is words with miss, which is a subcontinent. A subcontinent. And a word or something that is a subcontinent, is it India and its bordering country, or Asia? And a subcontinent, we would say it's India and its bordering countries, because Asia, it's already a continent on its own. All right, so now we're going with to words with miss, and we're going to the test with words with miss. And remember, we said the prefix miss either means incorrectly or it means badly. So, which advertisement for medicine would be misleading? Which advertisement for medicine would be misleading? Is it option one, the one that discusses only benefits, or option two, the one that discusses benefits and side effects? Which would be misleading? Option one or option two? And if we were to choose the correct option that says which advertisement for medicine would be misleading, then we would say it's option one, the one that discusses only benefits. Because remember, with medication, there are benefits and there are side effects. And as much as you want your product to be sold or you want your product to sell, then you need to basically give the benefits of it as well as the side effects. All right. Who has been mistaught? Who has been mistaught? Is it a student who was told Florida is a state, or a student who was told Canada is a state? Which one is correct? And if we were to choose the correct option, then we would say that Canada is a state, right? Because Florida is a state, within the United States. And we would then say Canada is a country. They call it a sovereign state, but that is something else. So now we need to say which results in misspent time. Misspent time. Is it doing something important or is it doing something unnecessary? Now we have misspent time. All right. And which results in misspent time? We said, is it option one, doing something important or doing something unnecessary? And the results of misspent time is doing something unnecessary. If you're doing something important, then that is not misspent time. But if you're doing things unnecessary, that is not important, then we would say that is misspent time. All right, and the last one says, which is less likely to be misinterpreted? Which is less likely to be misinterpreted? Is it unclear instructions or clear instructions? Things that are less likely to be misinterpreted. Less likely. Unclear instructions or clear instructions? And something or the word or things that might be less likely to be misinterpreted. It's if you have clear instructions, like you'll know what to do, right? And then lastly, we're going to words with an, dis, in, im, and non. And we said those usually means not, or it means the opposite of the base word, basically. So which is inexpensive? Which is not expensive? Inexpensive means that it is not expensive. Is it a diamond ring or a wooden pencil? a diamond ring, or a wooden pencil. And something that might be less or that might be inexpensive, a wooden pencil. Because you'll find a wooden pencil for less than $1 or something. I don't know how the currencies work, because like we have rands and you guys have dollars, and our currency is way less than yours. I think the dollar is like 16 rand to our 1 rand. All right, so why might you take an indirect route? An indirect route. So why might you take an indirect route? Is it option one because it has scenery, or option two because you want to travel as quickly as possible? An indirect route because it has nice scenery, or because you want to travel as quickly as possible. And if we were to choose the correct option, we would say, ooh, so an indirect route has got nice scenery. So a direct route is like where they will give you then the shortest distance. All right, so lastly, which activity is unnecessary? Is it eating food or watching TV? Television. Eating food or watching television. Something that is unnecessary. And if we were to choose the correct option, then we can say watching television. Of course, watching television, moderate, you know, it's not unnecessary, but according to this, it is unnecessary. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on prefixes. We went over words with sub, miss, words with undis, in, im, and non. Sub means either under or less than. Miss means either it is wrong or incorrectly or badly. And the other words, undis, in, im, and non, it usually means not, or it is the opposite of something. And remember, we said a prefix is a word that we add in front of or at the beginning of a base word. And once we add that word to the base word, and then it basically changes the meaning of the word. All right, so this is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. And I really hope that you're going to have a good day further.